So I wanted to ask you guys, if you were to create a slogan for your life, what would it be?
It's a good question. Kind of like a tagline for reality,
Yeah.
the Real Housewives. Not necessarily that, but just a mantra I live by, and I truly believe in this one, and it can pertain in a lot of different ways in life. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, everybody. And look,
good.
I know you can go that way with it. That's not what I mean. I just mean in life, you got to go out there and put yourself on the line and be outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if you always just sit back and stay comfortable, you'll never make it. The other one I have is,
I like
this is like an old gangster, whatever. I think everybody knows this one. Better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Meaning, I'm going to do it my way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do things as I want them. There's a difference between being managed and guided and mentorship, but also blazing your own path. So those are mine.
I thought you were going to say there could be 100 people in the room.
Oh,
See, now you understand why I laughed so hard. That was the laugh. And then you switched it up on me.
Yeah.
No, I love those. I think these are good, just rules to live your life by. So a fun one is, I don't know, here it is. I don't know how this is going to go, but I'm going to do it anyway.
that's your thing?
That's a fun one. But no, I actually do have a more serious one. And it's you can't pray and worry at the same time. So pick one. So I think myself, like many women, like probably many people, like I can be a worrier sometimes, and I have to like get out of my own head and decide, like, you could spend your energy worrying or thinking about all the negative things, or you could spend your energy thinking about all the positive things and trusting that the universe will work out for you, trusting, you know, in God or whatever you believe in, that things are going to go positively. It's choosing to be negative or positive. Which one do you want?
True.
Guys, yours are both so good. I
know.
love these. So I had to think of what this would be. I had to go to my Insta stories because I have, in my highlights, I have wise words where I have all sorts of motivational quotes posted. I know some people hate on these people that post these. I actually really love them. So the one that I found that I really like is...
Wait for it.
Because you are alive, everything is possible.
Oh, that's a good one.
Isn't that so good? Just think about it. I feel like all the time, you know, people get to the end of their life and they talk about things that they wish they would have done. I'm not trying to take this in a dark path, but because you are alive, you can do literally anything.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Try to make it happen. So
it's a reminder to really cherish each day, and that your life still has purpose.
Yeah.
When you're here, if you're still here, your life still has purpose, and you matter.
And if you don't like something, change it.
I
Try
love
to make
that.
your dreams come true.
The one I hate the most is, it is what it is.
Oh, I hate that too. That's such a nothing phrase.
What does that mean? Like,
It
I
means
get so
nothing.
angry when people say that.
It's
I
someone
think
giving up and being
it's
complacent.
more so in support of the it is what it is people. I think that it just means like life is gonna be what it's gonna be. Like you take it or leave it.
So
Like,
what I meant
you
is
could
I hate
stress
when
about it
Felicia
or
says
not.
it. That's
Did
what
she say it?
Clearly.
I don't know.
She
if
doesn't
I
say that.
I don't
I've
know.
never heard you
The
say
other
that.
good one for, I think, anybody, another good advice one is, my name's Bennett, and I ain't in it. Meaning, don't get involved in the drama, don't get involved in the gossip, it'll take you far.
Jordan,
enough.
you still say that, and I feel like I said that in 3rd grade.
I love
I
that.
know. I'm always like, all right, Jordan.
Or the other one is when I
Says
tell
it.
my father I'm hungry. Oh, nice to meet you, hungry.
Oh, God.
Still use that. All right, well, according to a study, being a homeowner is out of the question for millennials. It's because 30% of them think they got a better shot at landing a date with an A-list celebrity than doing that. Almost half the millennials think buying a home is more difficult than it was 30 years ago. Does this sound right to you guys?
I agree. I think this is a sad truth. I think some of the things that our parents were overcoming just in terms of getting a job, getting and paying for college, we know all of this stuff is so much more competitive. It's so much more expensive. Buying a home is so much more expensive. The cost of everything is
the
going
rising
up.
home prices, student debt rise. I think those are probably the two main things I would think that are preventing them. But then also another thing that I thought of is marriage. Those numbers are down.
That's true.
The desire
too.
to have children at the age that maybe our parents and those before us were having them,
Yeah.
those numbers are down. So if that stability that leads you to home owning is gone,
Yeah.
there's a lot more reasons for people to pay a lot of high prices for rent and not own.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems so permanent too. I think that's why it hasn't really appealed to me. It's like the biggest investment you'll probably ever make in your life, and it's so permanent. I've never wanted to live in one home for the rest of my life. I mean, I like the idea of living in a place for a few years. Don't leave if you love it, but it just doesn't appeal to me to have it be so permanent. I know it's a good investment and everything, but it just I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
like the idea of it. I have a friend who bought a home. She's in Colorado where it doesn't typically flood, and she didn't have flood insurance, and it just flooded, and so they were out so much money. And it's stories like that that make me think like I'm not really interested in that. But you guys
Yeah.
are both homeowners, and you guys seem happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and we actually did that because it was cheaper. It's actually owning a home is cheaper than paying rent. So you could be out of
Yeah.
a lot of money if you continue to rent as well.
Yeah.
But I think there's this common misconception that you need 20, 30% down. I only had to put down 3% for my
Really?
home. Yeah. I only needed 3%.
But then don't you pay a
lot
lot
of it
in
is because
interest?
no, it's because I am not only a first-time home buyer, I'm also a woman and I'm also a minority. So there are a lot of programs out there that
Really?
people don't know. Like you're saying, really, like a lot of people don't know. It's something that I didn't know either.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I could have done this a long time ago. You don't need $30,000 to buy a home. And I also think people don't know like how to start the
Well,
process.
that's true.
They
I'd
don't
also,
teach that in high
and I
school.
know many people told you this before, and I said it when we first met. You're an old soul for your age, and
Yeah,
I think
it's
a lot
weird.
of people.
Yeah, I'm weird.
But no, it's a great thing, and that's leads to the responsible. But I think it doesn't make you irresponsible, obviously, if you're not a homeowner. Carly clearly is not that in terms of irresponsible. But I think it's the whole thing about flexibility.
Yeah.
I think people want to be flexible, and they feel like if
Yeah.
they own a home, it's a tied down thing, just like
Yeah.
marriage, just like kids. And I think the younger generation wants to feel like, I want to live here for a little bit, but then I want to pick up and live here
That's
and
exactly
do that in a
it.
month. So,
And also, I think it would be different if we were in smaller cities. Like if I was in a small town and I wanted to live in a house, I would get a house. But I've lived in New York, LA, and Chicago where it's extremely
Oh, yeah,
expensive
girl.
too.
Absolutely.
So
So
it's all
true.
about your situation.